When you say struggle with the light, I just see failing upwards because there's been nothing wrong with it from my view.
Well, but I was doing this. I was like shining my camera light on my face. I was moving.
Fair enough. Hey everybody, we are here with a old-fashioned reviewy time of Predator, Killer of Killers. It's not a review-a-thon, but we've got some echoes of that, starting with a 420 review. And just so I don't ask anybody else to volunteer first, I'll jump in with mine. 2 movies in secret, where prey become predator. So excited for Badlands. 3 stories, but no, get to the theaters. I don't even know if that reference is prescient enough, but who wants to go next for the 420 review?
No, I can do mine. Predator fights historic periods. The periods fight back. Basic weapons still work. The Predator's only thought: whips and chains excite me.
Oh, what? I don't even remember who. Is that a Katy Perry? Is that a Lady Gaga?
I don't remember. I just Rihanna.
Yep. Yeah, it's a Rihanna.
Okay. I was like, I had to think. I had to draw from my memory bank. So I just know that one lyric of the entire song. That's all I know.
Well used.
Perfect.
Okay, so top fighters in world. Mom lost her heart. Predators kill for sport. Baby pilot, watch out. Someone please save baby.
That's good. All right, let's get into, and this will be because it's so fresh. Brad said it would be more about the Predator franchise, but Bradley Cooper's trivia. Bradley Cooper's much sexier than the real thing.
So some random Predator facts, and like Brian said, I'm just kind of doing like the general Predator series because with this movie being so new, it's only a couple weeks old at this point.
General Predator series. Hi, my mother reference.
So, a couple random Predator facts is that we as Americans use a base 10 system, where the Predators use a base 9 system for all their stuff. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. So we use like 0 to 9, where they would use 0 to 8 for all their counting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
When they originally did the first Predator movie, the green blood was actually green glow sticks. So they just poured the liquid out of the glow sticks.
Great.
The predlocks, or like the dreadlocks that the Predators have, bleed when they're cut because they're not actually hair. They're actually part of their body, and it's a part of their blooding ritual to have them braided into dreads, and it's supposedly the most painful thing that you can experience. But they are not allowed to show any pain or weakness during this ritual.
Yeah. Makes me think of all the times that I've seen Predators go, ah! Damn. All right. Nice. Is that... Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, I haven't seen all the Predator movies. Seen some, the first, second, one of the Alien vs. Predator Requiems, and this and Prey. And from everything I've heard, this, Prey, and the original Predator are top 3. But do you all have experience with the Predator films previously? A little bit?
I've seen all of them except for AVPs. I think I have a couple of the AVP movies, 1 or 2 of them, but I have yet to actually sit down and watch them. I would agree with you. 1, I would add in 2. 2 would probably be, probably the top 4. I mean, and so I can see some people mixing up that order, but for the most part, I would consider those Predator 1, Predator 2, Prey, and then this movie I think would be juggled, not jungled, which is the scene of the first movie, but juggled in there.
Yeah, I know I need to see Predators because that was a Robert Rodriguez film, though apparently not doesn't break the mold or anything, but I think everyone kind of Mission Impossible 2 agrees that Predator with Shane Black is pretty bad. One of the worst, if not the worst, because it tried making an MCU film with an Iron Man suit and everything. But Predator, and yay for paychecks.
but negative residuals.
Yeah, they're continuing their careers and paying the paychecks back. But yeah, how do y'all feel about the first animated Predator film?
Oh, this is the first one?
That's animated, yeah.
I think there was an animated TV series, like a 10-episode TV series, but I think that was... I'd have to look that up. I can do that real quick.
Fair enough. I know there's a new Alien TV series called Alien Earth coming to Hulu as well. But yeah, Milan, have you seen Prey?
Listen, I'll be honest. I could not tell you the difference half the time between Alien and Predator, so there's no guarantee I've seen either one, maybe.
That's fair.
I remember things from space killing people and me closing my eyes. So that could go either way.
So Prey was a few years ago a film that had been done in secret by Dan Trachtenberg, who I think you started out as a YouTuber, and in terms of filmmaking got attention by directing a dramatic Portal short film based on the puzzle-solving video games Portal and Portal 2, or I think at the time only Portal. And then he ended up doing a sequel to Cloverfield called 10 Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Ramona from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, that everyone was like, holy shit, that's awesome. And then he ended up making a secret Predator prequel called Prey, set in Plymouth Rock era, early America with Native Americans. And then since then, this is one of two other Predator films that were filmed in secret because they announced the one coming to theaters in November. But when they actually started showing footage, they were like, so yeah, we made two. And Prey was released exclusively on Hulu, and so is this. So that's kind of the history of it. And yeah, Prey was fucking great. Killing predators with bows and arrows. Yes, please.
Brian made me watch that movie without telling me that it was a Predator movie. He just was like, hey, we're going to watch this movie. I said, cool. Sat down and watched it. And like, it took me probably the first like 15, 20 minutes before I realized what I was watching. And I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but like, I didn't realize it was a Predator movie until probably like 10, 15 minutes in, when you start getting glimpses of it and you're just like, what? So he made me sit down and watch that, and that was really good. Like I said, it's on Hulu. Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to rank this one, the animated one, the first one, and Prey. For me, it'd be really hard to rank those three.
Are there only three?
No, there's there's
Three.
Predator 2. Well, find out if there's any gaps in this. There's definitely an Alien vs. Predator, which was and then there's an Alien vs. Predator Requiem, which I heard was and then there was a Shane Black Predator with like Keegan-Michael Key, bunch of people, Thomas Jane, the guy who played the second on-screen Punisher, and it was bad. It was like you could giggle and have fun and get along or go through the journey, but then it like aged like bread, where it's like, yeah, that was even worse than I thought. Oh, there was also a Predators like playing off the name Aliens by Robert Rodriguez that I talked about, and Prey, this, and Predator Badlands.
Yep. So Predator 1 in 87, Predator 2 in 1990, Predators was 2010, The Predator, kind of like The Fast and the Furious, 2018. Prey 2022, this one 2025, the next one 2025, and then they had 4 crossovers: Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, Alien vs. Colonel Marines, and the Predator Holiday Special. And they did a bunch of video games too. So
the order you said those in, I was like, there were new ones, and it was called that.
Yeah, 2016, 2018.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I thought you were just ordering those cleverly to be like, and then there was also 2 in the 90s that were like Star Wars holiday specials.
Nope. I chronologically listed those.
Cool. Yeah, but similar to how films like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whatever the ooze, they're all playing off or being pseudo inspired by the Spider-Verse films to get creative with their animation. So I think they animated most of this on twos, which means the choppier editing. And I don't know if it was just my TV, but some of the shots, and it was consistent both times in the Japanese era, seemed bad. Not bad, but like aged, like accidentally. And I thought, if intentional or just my TV, either way, I was like, that's pretty cool.
I want to say when I was looking at facts for this movie that it was made on the Unreal Engine. So I'm trying to find that on like Wikipedia or something just to kind of fact check that, but I don't see it. But when I was looking for facts, that was one of them that I found.
Yeah, and I'm going to pretend like this was totally planned and natural, but I meant to say that it's me, Brad, and Milan coming here to review Predator Killer of Killers, released in 2025. I forgot to look up the release date, but it's directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the guy I was talking about earlier, Joshua Wasung, written by Micho Robert Rutter, Dan Trachtenberg, and Jim Thomas, and stars a bunch of lovely people, but has no budget information. I tried looking it up, but Prey apparently made around 60 million, I think, and then the new Predator Badlands is 100 million, which, if you look up that trailer, it looks like they spent that money well, because it looks fucking awesome. Totally natural. Just meant to have that so late intro. I meant it to be late. Not that late. Yeah, anything stick out to y'all? Did you know the structure going in? I did not. Anything jump out?
Outside of like whips and chains, that just
okay, Rihanna.
every period had like some kind of chain or something. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but like the chain from the old Norse lady who dragged it underwater. Then they had the chain for the Japanese. Where was it? I think it was the Predator used it. And then the bullet one, I don't want to say America, Florida, was Alien used it to grab all these planes out of the air and stuff like that. So like chains were like a really big part of this. Like I said, I don't know if that was intentional or not. It just kind of seemed like it was just weird.
Is that out of place with regards to other Alien or Predator movies?
Kind of, because all the other Predator movies are more like military based. The gun that's used in this movie, I wrote down his name too, belonged to an old pirate, Raphael Dolnini.
Yeah, I think that gun has some significance to Predator 2, because I know it was
a gift to the Predator.
Oh,
I know something.
Cool. All I knew was that it was a very pseudo obvious Easter egg in Prey, because they linger on the shot a little too long, and I'm like, oh, that means something. I have no idea.
Aaron told me, he just turned around and realized I gave his fact. It was something he had told me during the movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you how was it for you and Aaron watching?
Different reaction. Yes, we had different reactions.
That's fair.
I'm gonna assume he hated this movie, so.
Oh no, I think he really enjoyed it. Yes.
He's just like,
he was bored.
And that's that gun that was gifted the Predator.
Oh yeah, no, he really geeked out about all the little things, and at the very end, he super geeked out about the chick.
Yep.
Do they actually give her a name? I think they do, don't they?
Well, to spoil it, I was going to say you're going to geek out about that chick if you choose to watch Prey, because that's the lady.
Yeah, that's
me. Yeah.
He explained the significance.
Yeah, she. As far as the film or general audience knowledge, that was like her first role in that film, and for most of those actors and actresses, honestly. but I actually gotta see what she's been up to because it feels like a Kaylee Spaney moment. And Kaylee Spaney is the woman who's in Alien Romulus. She's in Priscilla. She's in Civil War, the A24 film. Just a lot of prestigious stuff. And I think she's gonna be in something else, but I would not be surprised if she has been enjoying a fruitful career since Prey. Yeah. What was your favorite sequence or era, I guess, for each of you?
For me, unfortunately, it was probably the American military, the last one. I feel like they purposely and I like the way that they did this with the story. You know, with the first era, they create it in a way to where they don't necessarily want you having a lot of sympathy for the mother. You know, like you don't even really get a chance to connect as much with the characters, to really care as much when they die. You know, by the second one, they slowly kind of give you a little bit of that. So by the end, you have a little bit of that buy-in with the brothers. And then with the last one, like they're really driving it home. Like we want you to care about what's happening to these people who are dying. So I like that they were, at least I think, that they were really intentional about the build-up between the three. Sure. So that third one really cared about what happened to this kid who really had absolutely no business in the situation he was kind of put in. Yeah. So yeah, for me, I like the third sequence.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I like the first one or the second one. I actually disliked the third one the most because I felt like he was kind of like what I forgot what the term is, like where he's just kind of like thrown into a scene and all of a sudden he's the baddest person in there, even though with like zero training or anything like that. I forgot what that trope is called. But I actually kind of like the first one because she cared about her, like because I like the North mythology and stuff like that, and Norse history. So I really like that first one, and where she was kind of like blooding in her child into their culture, and he kind of goes out on a limb and does it himself, really, and then that's what kind of gets murdered by the predator immediately after. But it does link forward in time because she does see her son in the American Boy. I gotta figure out what his name is.
Bullet. Yeah.
Torres.
Yeah.
Doesn't say, it just says Torres. So I think that's his last name. But so she sees her son and him and has that flashback, which is why she wants to fight so hard at the end and basically sacrifice herself to save him. But I really did like the Japanese section too, with the brother sequence and watching his brother die as they both kind of defeat the predator simultaneously. I just didn't like the pilot section, but I did like, which I would consider like the fourth scene of everything, where they're all three together. I really liked that. I thought it worked really well with their backstories. I was just not attached to the kid that much, just because I felt like he had nothing. He wasn't supposed to be there.
Exactly. He
wasn't supposed to work.
He had no skill. Like, he got lucky with the plane working. He was in a plane.
Yeah.
Like, he would die with one punch. Like, why was he there? Protect this poor child who shouldn't be here.
Yeah, I thought it was really smart how they structured the film because like maybe it would take longer to get into if we started with the Japanese section with it being so much silence for most audiences, but with the Bullet one, that one seemed to have the most, and this isn't supposed to be an insult, but the most generic moments, like they've got all their pilots. No, they don't. And like having those classic hero moments, or at least the hero moments we've seen most in films, and then starting with the mother-son story where they do have those, I think, beautifully balanced moments of like, yo, you'll never go to Valhalla if you kill me without, yo, I'll hunt you. All right, Slice, I'm gonna be a good mom right now. In the context. And then later it's like, you're just a scared girl, you're not a hero. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be a good son now in context. Slice. And then I guess in terms of subverting expectations, I just automatically went towards the standard structure of like, okay, of course it'll always be the youngest person, avenge me, and then the son, yeah, just subverted that by passing away. But It was interesting. I did have to rewatch it just to be fresh for this, but when I started with the subtitles of the Norse, I was like, wait, yeah, they were all speaking different languages at the end. Is this all subtitles as well? Because I know the 7 words in Japanese were subtitled. But
yeah, I did like that. They didn't like start off like the first sentence or two in Nordic, Japanese, and Spanish, and then trail away from it. The Spanish to English kind of makes sense a little bit. I wish they would have stuck with Spanish, despite being in Florida. I wish I would have stuck with Spanish the entire time. But I do like that they stuck with Nordic the whole time, and then Japanese the whole time. They didn't like dub it for us as a viewer. That they stuck with the language and made us read subtitles.
So do you
I feel like it would have taken away from if they had left it all in Spanish, because I think part of it was because they were trying to make you get that nostalgic American military feel. Like that's what they were going for. Like exactly what Brian was talking about before with the those classic films. Like that was one of the first comments I made. Like, oh, like that's why you connect to it, because it reminds you of those old school Americans.
Do you think it was all Spanish there? Because I thought it was just him and his father, and then everybody in the military spoke English, and he was bilingual.
There were moments.
They switched it back to English pretty quick. Like the first couple sentences were in Spanish back and forth, and then I think the boy speaks English, and then I think the dad replies to him back in English. So they like stop it after the first couple sentences.
Okay. So for at least the son and father part, you think it's like the Nordic part where we're just hearing English even though they're speaking Spanish? Gotcha. Okay. I could see it either way, but if they did that for that moment, that would be cool artistic choice. I wish they would do it always like the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 where they start in full Russian, but then have it start overlapping and you hear Russian and English and the subtitles even overlap and it switches over. But I don't know, maybe that's just my stylistic preference for that.
There was another movie that I watched recently where they were speaking, I don't remember what language it was, and like the camera panned and it hit like a dead spot, like a gap in the like a post or something like that, and as it came out the other side they were speaking English. I thought that was pretty well done, but I mean, I wish I would have stuck with it because they started it in this movie for the first two. I wish it would have just stuck in Spanish in the third one.
I think it just depends on the intent, because I think part of it too, if it was stayed in Spanish, that would be ignoring the Spanish American heritage of the family as a whole. So I think it depends on what the intent was behind their background.
And the intent behind my background of using this cool new software was for me to be switching through the layouts a little more often than I have. But for the first time, about 26 minutes in, I just switched it. Ooh, look at that cool transition. Should have done that for segments, but cool beats. Yeah. All right, so I'll just say, based on the trailers, I have no idea if any of these characters show up in Badlands. I really hope they do. But that trailer, the only human being I noticed was Elle Fanning. And we ain't got any 30-something-year-old blonde young ladies in this film. So, would you be interested in seeing these characters return in future installments? And then I've got some more stuff, but I was curious if you would want them to show up in maybe the next film or just wait for another animated Hulu movie or something like that.
I mean, the mother for sure, the samurai for sure, the pilot needs to go home.
That's his arc. Also, the samurai losing an arm was like, holy crap.
And he lost his right arm too, which I think he was
This is dominant arm, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if he was right or left-handed, but either way, I mean, that's even if he was left-handed, it's going to throw off your balance and your strength on some of that. So, the only two Predator movies that are chronologically like back to back would be the two AVP movies. So I would be okay with ending it here. I think it would kind of suck because I think we're missing so much that I wouldn't mind like a live action, Predators, and then a animated a la Clone Wars-esque that do tie back in. That yes, at some point in time there could be a live action version of those characters, but you can also have them running side by side too. it wouldn't hurt anything.
Plus, with the tease of the woman from Prey at the end,
Yeah.
do you think he lost an arm so that he'd get some like cool Predator tech as a new arm, or is he becoming a one-arm samurai? I mean, there's the possibility with the like arm things that they could have some robotic limb that could be a little more high tech if they're human beings stranded within orbit of a predator planet. And I mean, he could speed racer, listen to that engine, but I don't know if he knows how to follow the stars home yet without a little autopilot or pilot. Branding is still working on the naming for advertisements, but yeah, I see your point with it becoming a Clone Wars type, just 20-minute episodes continuing on.
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick Google search here to see when it is that we discovered certain planets, just to see, because this is 1942. I know we didn't find dinosaur bones until like the 60s or 70s.
Yeah, after the government buried them in the first place.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, like, would it be reasonable, since he can't read predator language, for him to find a way home? I don't think so either, but
could be autopilot. Let's see, what is that? Oh, also I was listening to the some reviews, and one or two of them were like, I wish this was in theaters so we could see it on the big screen. But personally, I guess considering the structure of it being more anthology, I'm kind of happy that we got to have the opportunity to watch on big screens, but not like have to sell it as some, hey, we need $100 million worth of people to come to theaters to justify this budget, and probably be a little grumpy because it's like less than 90 minutes and it's not a structure that everybody's used to. So we just got this, I don't know. It's not much of a horror film, but the Predator films have, I think, leaned more towards the action than the Alien films lean towards the horror anyway. But yeah, felt really cool. Would you have wished to have had the opportunity to see this on a bigger screen?
I think with the art style, it suits better to TVs than it would be to a movie theater. I mean, I watched it in my theater.
Oh yeah,
130-inch screen, but like, so it's fine. But I don't know if that would translate over to like an actual theater. I think it would look worse. I think with the art style, you'd want it to be smaller.
That's fair. Because on the second watch, I was looking at the framing, because I remember, even though I really enjoyed the last Mission Impossible movie, and I understand what they were going for with their close-ups, damn, on an IMAX or a Dolby, I'm just like, yeah, I think this is gonna hit even better at home just with this framing. Not for the sound, not for the like theater experience, but just for the god damn, that's a big head. And I think actually this film had more reserved framing in terms of close-ups than Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. But God, what a gorgeous art style, though.
When I was watching, I was trying to find like mentally like what I was trying to compare it to, because I felt like I've seen this art style before.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't like put a pin on where I've seen this art style before.
Does it feel like a Spider-Verse or a Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
No, because I think those are too nice. I think this is more of like the hand-drawn style, more comic booky, which is kind of nice. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I know I've seen this style before and I really liked it. I just don't remember where I've seen a movie very similar to this.
I heard somebody compare it to the Animatrix.
I don't remember. I don't know if I've seen that movie or seen that TV show.
It's like this. It's movie length, but it's a bunch of smaller stories, except they don't really tie into each other at the end, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably attaching this to probably some anime, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whether that probably not as nice as like Studio Ghibli, which would be on like the really nice side of things. But I'm probably attaching it to a what?
Sorry, I was just looking at the cast, and you keep going because I got two of my own little bombshells to cut.
So it's probably an anime that I've seen that I liked that had that same art style. Is probably where I'm leaning towards.
So first, the actor who played Torres, I thought he sounded familiar because he did a role in the Arrowverse, like a lot of episodes. I'm gonna get his character. If I'm right. Wait. Oh, he was also in War of the Worlds. Wait, no, it might not have been Arrowverse, but it was definitely like a CW show. Where is this? I'm gonna try to zoom in too much.
Supernatural drama.
Reaper was the first one I saw him in. I thought he showed up again later. Yep, he showed up in 76 episodes of Arrow, couple in DC's Legend of Tomorrow, and the person next to him, who is Anders, is a fucking actor from Smosh, which, if you don't know, is like one of the longest running comedy YouTube channels that's still alive. His name's Damian C. Haas. It's just really, I just thought it was really cool to see someone who still makes a full-time living as a YouTube content creator to be in something like this, and such a big role. Like, that's, I mean, I know he dies fairly quickly, but it's not some, oh, hi guys, I'm here, boss. All right, thanks. Like one line cameo or whatever.
Yeah, he's also the guy from Coach Carter that gives like the really nice speech about how our greatest fears are not that we are adequate or all that. So he's the same. It's the same kid.
Absolutely, and I never saw Coach Carter.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's a good movie.
I think I saw like a small clip, and I was like, "Damn, I gotta check that out." But yeah, nice little film. Anything else before we get into the movies are dope rating, which hasn't seen this podcast in quite some time? Anything else?
No arguments here.
All right. I'm going to do what I've been doing this whole time and just dynamically shift this angle to say, all right, for all the ratings we have, I should have actually just had it ready, but I'll go to my screenshots. We have basically an S to F tier system with a wild card. We got, I'll go from top to bottom, and imagine it starts with S. We've got ayahuasca, mushrooms, edible, joint, skunky, or poison. That's the S to F from top to bottom. And then for those Michael Bay-esque, oh buddy, but damn did I have fun for a one watch, we have a Molly, the wild card, a fun as fuck piece of shit. Which, it's just so bad, but you can't help but love it. Anybody know their ranking for this? Do you want to go first?
To make previously how we did this, to make grades, like say you wanted to do an A-, like you do a mushroomy edible, right. Or like if you want to do a B+, you do like an edible mushroom. So if you wanted to do a plus or minus, you would just say the letter grade first, then go up one or down one, depending on if you want to give it a plus or minus. So you don't have to like give it a full like B tier. You'd be like B+ or B-.
That's right.
Yeah. So just to add that extra wrinkle in there, to make this that much harder.
Also, thanks for remembering, babe. But also, Amazon Prime just told me that Sinners dropped today, right now, to buy at home. So anybody who wants to, that link will be below. But yeah, Brad, do you have a rating you want to start with?
Sure. I'm going to go with an edible mushroom. So I'm going to go like B, basically like the B+, the top side of the B tier. I think it's really good. I want to see another one. Things that brought it down for me, the length. I do like that it was 90 minutes, but I mean, I feel like we could have gotten more out of that 90 minutes, or we could have added an extra 20 minutes and got a little deeper. I wouldn't have been mad at hour 50 minutes, and we got a little bit more backstory about kind of the mom and dad figure in this movie is what it's going to probably come down to. I would watch it again, but I wouldn't put it above, for sure, Prey, and it would be really close if I'd put it above Predator, the original, or not. So I'm going to go with like a B+.
Nice. Milan, do you know your rating, or do you want me to go next?
No, I know mine. So I'm gonna give it this sounds an edible joint. So a B minus. So I really enjoy.
It just clicked to me what you meant by an edible joint sounding gross. Don't do that. Max Tucker almost died eating an edible with uncrushed weed in it. Full stop.
Yeah, B minus. Like I really enjoyed the action sequences for the first two. They were fun to watch. They kept me engaged and everything like that. But with the third one, and this was where I was like, it was like my unfortunate favorite. That was the one that ended up getting the emotional reaction. But beyond that, there wasn't much there, just like what Bradley was talking about. So it just like there's like a huge disconnect between having these two cool warriors who are doing this really cool things against the predator, and then this really awkward random kid who's in the story now. And I'm just like, now I'm way too worried about whether or not he dies, and I shouldn't be. And then there was just too much blood and gore for me. I'm not like super into the blood and gore. So like while the film itself was good, I would recommend it to other people who I know like that genre. I don't think it's one that I would watch again. Nor do I think I would be like super excited about watching the sequel to it. But I would recommend it to somebody else who I know likes the Predator film.
That's fair. Speaking of the action, the first one's like one shot, I was like, man, it must be just as difficult as doing a live action version of this, but at least you got that flexibility of going in and changing. And then the second. But I feel you. Every time on that third one where he's like, go get him, kid. And then it's just like, and you like see his head come off. It's like, all right, that's probably true to the franchise, but damn, I was expecting a little more. I ain't got time to bleed. You got time to duck? As opposed to just the, whew! Hell, when I watched it with Maddie, there was a point, I forgot, he's literally said, man, that would be a lot worse if this was live action. And he was talking about the axe on the side. I was like, you know what? That was the moment I was like, fuck, that's media literacy, because literally the Kill Bill movies made a sequence anime, because if they hadn't, it would have been NC-17. But I was like, shit, I knew you liked movies, but now you're out pacing your old man with this stuff. For me, it's a mushroom. I think it was great on. It's quick. I think it might be lower if it wasn't so quick. I want to have that extra 20 minutes in the final sequence so they can connect more, but thinking about it structurally, that doesn't really make sense if they connect and then start fighting and then all that. So I don't have a solution, but I kind of like, I agree with the length equaling more meat. But yeah, for me, it's just a solid mushroom. This did the job. This got me excited. It felt like a way to expand the universe without feeling unnecessary. And I never thought of it myself, but enough reviewers were like, this is what fans have been wanting. They're like, what do you think? Predator versus Ninja? What would happen? Predator versus Viking? Because I know they've done like Predator versus Batman in like comic books. So I was like, oh damn, since I'm not a like super fan or whatever, fair enough. That was fucking cool.
So somebody asked for Predator versus Amateur Pilot.
Damn straight. Oh, I did forget to say though, that move that Torres did where he, like, I saw him grabbing the parachute. I was like, waiting for this, baby. You're going to bend that plane. You're going to get your own parachute and jump away. And they just uses it and just into the water. That was so badass, and how it arced around and hit the flooded engine. And I even joked at the beginning, like, Maddie said something about Torres's dad. I was like, yep, he's got to flood the engine. And I was so just in my head joking that it wasn't until the second viewing that I was like, oh, damn, I called that on accident. But, It was cool. I would like if in a sequel they can communicate with each other, but if they can't, that'll probably make it even more interesting. But yeah, for me, it's a mushroom. I could see an argument for mushroom meat edible from like after a few weeks, but it just hit, and especially since I'm not even a super fan of it. Tip to it. Anything else before we wrap up this lovely little review of what is it? Ballerina Killer of Killers? I mean Predator Killer of Killers. Meant to make that joke at the beginning. Forgot.
No, overall I think it's a good way to keep the series going without really bloating up the series enough to like it's enough to get new people in that probably aren't familiar with the movies from the 80s. It's enough to keep people going on the franchise. It's enough to keep the franchise alive. Without pushing anything too far forward one way or the other to like force them to go a direction. But so it's a good time filler without it being like hokey and like a holiday special type of stuff.
It's fair. And since I've been doing this the entire time, dynamically switching the angle to say thank you, everybody. I'm Brian at Movies Are Dope everywhere. Brad's at BradF912 everywhere. Milan, do you have a current thing you want to be found with online?
Why do I need to be found? No, I'm still XBW historian.
Cool. All those links are below. And cue it.
Bye-bye now.
I'm living in a movie, there's a scene you gotta jump. I got my people at the viewing who all knew me selling tickets. Yeah, they talking about the beauty. I see Scorsese outside saying this isn't cinema. Free man, I ain't doing shit tomorrow, I don't need plans. I'll be kicking it till April off for $3 grand. I don't even need the money, I just need fans. I just need fans.